What's up, y'all? This is Ty. I am here to review Power Book 3, Raising Kanan. This is Season 4, Episode 1, titled Gangsters Don't Die. But before I get into this review, I have to give a shout out to my lovely subscribers and say thank you. We have reached 4 million subscribers. 4 million subscribers. I'm speaking that into existence. I'm just speaking into existence. But whatever the number is, because I really haven't looked, I thank you. I do appreciate you because you're keeping this channel going. I thank you. You asked me to open a P.O. box so you can send me things. I do appreciate you all. You're lovely. God bless you. Thank you. Now let's get down to this review. All right, where we last left off on Season 3 was the ending where we saw Ronnie, Kanan, Detective Howard, and Rock in a standoff because Rock thought she was going there to pick up her son because she thought Kanan was kidnapped by Ronnie and then to bring the money to him, only to find out that they were working together, Ronnie and Kanan. And Kanan then double crosses Ronnie and pow, kills him like, dude, you think I'm gonna turn on my mother? Are you crazy? What do you think this is? And then we see pow, Detective Howard, you think you're gonna live? He gets killed. I was like, okay, interesting. So you're thinking they're gonna pick up from there and what happened with that, but no. They start this episode off saying 3 months earlier to that event. So now we get to see what happened, the things that led up to that, and we also get to see the attack on Unique through Unique's eyes, his point of view of what happened. And I said, okay, I'm with it. This is going to be interesting. So we see him and his own brother and how his brother, they show that scene what his brother did to him. And, this was kind of a refresher too. I was like, okay. And then he throws him down the cliff or down the hill or whatever and leaves him for dead. See, now when you go, now I'm gonna act like I'm a gangster. When you killing somebody, you gotta go down there and make sure they really dead. You just don't leave them for dead. You gotta make sure they dead. But he ain't do that. So now, Unique gets up, staggers, finds a payphone because there wasn't no cell phones back then. Finds a payphone and calls someone to help him. And he calls Early. Early is hilarious. He was cracking me up. He was a bit of the comic relief because the way he was like, man, your face, man, you look terrible, man. Oh my God. Like that was cracking me up. And it's just the way he was being real with Unique because Unique, the way he was talking to him, I thought was funny. And so he takes Unique to a vet because he can't take him to the hospital because look, this is gangster stuff and he don't know who's after Unique, so he got to keep him safe and keep it on the low. He can't bring him to a hospital. He can't do that because the person might find out he's alive and finish off the job. So he takes him to the vet. The vet says, yo, he's really bad. He needs a hospital. He needs a doctor. He needs this, that, and the third. And he was like, nah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Fix him with what you got, whatever that is over there. You injected in that cat. Come over here and do that to him. Help him. Do what you got to do. So that's pretty much what was going on. Then he took him home. Early took him home with him. And we see Ronnie progressing. He's all stitched up. He's messed up real bad. But then he starts getting better. And he's getting angry. And he wants revenge. And he's asking, what's his name? Where's your gat? He comes staggering out. Where's the gat? Let me hold the gat. He holds the gun, one then falls. He's like, dude, you can barely stand up. What are you trying to do here? He said, well, listen. You need to chill out. You need to lay low because he's wanting all his revenge. He said, listen, lay low. And I agree with that. Lay low, sit back in the shadows and figure this thing out before you start jumping to these conclusions. See what's going on. So they learned that Rock is back in business. So now he's really pissed off like, yo, she told me she was out of the game. Now she's back in business. So he's automatically thinking she set him up and that her and Ronnie are working together. Then he finds out that Ronnie's working with Kanan, he's like, oh, yep, it's a setup. They set me up. And dude is like, dude, chill out. Stay in the shadows. Don't jump out just yet. Stay in the shadows. And you ain't paid me yet. So stay in the shadows and let's figure this out. And I was like, I agree with him. And that made a lot of sense instead of jumping to these conclusions. So I was like, dag, now these two are going to be at each other's throats again because he's thinking she has something to do with this. And Rock really didn't. Speaking of Rock was grieving in her own way, but then she finds out that she's pregnant. She's pregnant by Unique, and then she goes and gets an abortion. And what was sad about this scene to me was, well, it was sad, was when the nurse was speaking to her and telling her about, someone to talk to. She was like, this ain't my first rodeo. I've had an abortion before. And I was like, Dad. And then she's like, we don't need all this talking. Let's get this over with. Because, they're asking all these questions. And where's the daddy? She said he's deceased. And, oh, I know this may be hard on you. She's like, look, let's get this done. Then she has a conversation with her niece, Jukebox, a.k.a. Laverne. And she's like, telling her, she says, yes, Unique was the father. And Laverne's like, what the hell? What? She said, I know I know. She said, and she admits to her that she was falling and feeling him. And that's crazy because he was feeling her too. And that's what makes him more mad now that he was feeling her. Now he thinks that she's double crossed him. So I thought all of that was interesting. Also, what was very interesting in this episode was seeing Laverne, Jukebox, same person, and her interaction with her friend who's a group member and the group member's parents. That was nice. But then my favorite part was her having the conversation with Nicole's dad and telling him about the group and how excited he was for her. Because remember, Nicole's mother hated her. But she blamed her for Nicole's death. But how excited he was for her and how happy he was for her and how encouraging he was and how he was pouring into her. And she even asked him about, joining the army, the military, whatever it was. And he had explained it. But he said, listen, sweetheart, you about to be a big pop star with this group Butter. You about to be big. You ain't got to worry about all that. And I thought all of that was nice. I thought that was really nice. And we also saw Lulu's Club. And that was nice. And the rapper, I forget the rapper's name, he was there and he's performing, and the club seems to be running pretty well. And what's homegirl's name that came back to the club? What's her name? Jess? Is that her name? I think that's her name, Jess. She comes back and she's talking to him and telling him how she misses him and this, that, and the third. And she tells Lulu, don't stress yourself and hold on to this guilt on things that were not really your fault and all that. That was interesting, but I was like, it wasn't that interesting. I really didn't get the point of her coming back. Like, why are you here? Who cares? Also, we saw in this episode, Marvin has a job that Stefano has given him. Now, this is going to be some issues because Stefano is also working with Rock. And Rock don't like things not knowing about things and being in the dark. But Stefano has a job. He explains it. So he said, listen, I want Marvin to work. I want you to do this thing for me. And the reason why I'm doing this, I don't like mixing different businesses. This is something separate than my business with Rock. This is more personal thing. This is a family thing because my son-in-law, he's running around on my daughter and I'm not appreciating that, but it's not really anything I can do because of the mob family rules. You can't really touch another maid, this, that, and the third. But see, if we get you to come and rough them up and take care of them, you can. So we see Marvin in the first scene when he encounters the young guy who's blatantly cheating on his wife out in the open, don't give a damn, all in the car doing whatever. When Marvin confronts him, he's with his other group of friends and asks him for direction, whatever. They make these little remarks and they be a little rude and racist. And then when Marvin sees him again, back when he's playing hockey somewhere in the locker room, Marvin confronts him in the locker room, punches him, takes the ice skate, threatens him and says, you better stop cheating on your wife or And so that causes the dude to straighten up a little bit because then Stefano says to Marvin, he says, oh, whatever you did, it worked because now he's taking her on a trip somewhere. So, all that was interesting. But I'm saying that's not going to play out very well when Rock finds out that that's going on. That's not going to play out very well. Now, what's going on with Kanan? Kanan has a school assignment that he needs to do. It's one where he has to do this project, a research project on a grandparent. So at first he goes to Detective Howard because he doesn't want to deal with Rock. He's still not speaking to Rock. He goes to Detective Howard and Detective Howard's like, are you stupid? No, we can't do that. Hello, I'm a cop. They somehow finds out and find the connection that you, no. No one can, we can't, don't ask about my parents, because that's just going to make things, and that made sense. He's like, we don't want this to get out that you're my son. So Kanan, still avoiding his mother, he decides to go and speak to his grandmother. I believe her name was Joyce. And they had a really good conversation, and she was telling him history about his grandfather and things. And you can see the family's very fractured and divided, because Kanan goes to her and she tells him stuff. He goes to his uncles and they all give a different perspective on the same man. But he never goes to Rock with this. But Rock, you see a scene where he's in his room working on his paper, and she said, you never asked me about my father. I was his favorite. And he's still not speaking to her, but it was something really sweet that she said to him. She said, no matter how you feel about me, you'll never stop me from loving you. I said, I like that. I'm gonna have to steal that when one of my kids start acting funny. I'm gonna steal that and use that same line. But I thought that was a sweet moment with her, that she really loves her son. So, this episode was pretty good. Did I cover everything? I think I did cover everything. Oh, wait. No, I didn't. Then we also learned some more family business, that Kanan's grandmother has cancer. I believe she said kidney cancer. And she tells him to not tell his mother or his uncles. So he's the only one that knows that secret. She doesn't want anybody to know that. His family likes to keep secrets, because you see Rock telling Jukebox earlier, listen, you can't tell nobody I got pregnant by Unique. They like their little secrets, and they're like telling the younger ones not to, don't you say nothing about that. So all interesting. Overall, I thought this was a very good episode, a very interesting episode. I like that they did the backstory and they're showing us where Unique stands. And now I know he's going to be hell-bent this season on revenge. So I thought it was really good, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen in the next episode. So that's all I have for now. Tell me your thoughts. What did you feel about this episode? How did you feel about some of these things going on? How do you feel about Marvin working with Stefano behind Rock's back? Do you think that was cool? What do you think is going to happen with Lulu, and Jess? We got to figure these things out. So that's all I have. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.